Rockford's home for classic rock, 96.7 The Eagle. Good morning. I'm Double T. Special guest joining me, legendary guitar player Mitch Perry. Mitch, how you doing today?
Oh, doing good. Just enjoying another day of lockdown here in California.
Before we get started, you've got a little bit of history in the Rockford area.
Oh, yeah. You know, I spent a weekend there in July of 1969. My dad was a race driver, and we were racing at Blackhawk Farms, and he won the SCCA National there.
Wow, that's really cool. A lot of good racing around these parts, that's for sure. Who are some of the bands and artists and stuff that you've played, recorded, and toured with?
There's a wealth of them. We started out with Tallis and Billy Sheehan, and then went from there to Heaven with Alan Fryer. Went from Heaven to Michael Schenker. Went from Michael Schenker to Edgar Winter, Cher. Got a number of them. Lita Ford, Asia. Yeah, we could keep going. And currently I've been out touring with Sweet.
Oh, very cool. Your latest project is your own thing, the Mitch Perry Group. Let's talk about that a little bit. Who do you got in the group with you?
Okay, the core band is Tal Bergman on drums. He's from Billy Idol's band when they recorded Cradle of Love. He also has been in Joe Bonamassa' band for the last 5 years. On bass, we have Dan McNay. He's from Jack Russell's Great White and Montrose. And then on keyboards, we have Ed Roth and Dave Schultz handling most of the stuff on the album. And both of them are going to be a part of the live thing at various times. So that's the band, per se, on the record. And then you have three amazing singers, Keith England, Shelley Benet, and Kara Turner. And Kara Turner's a local artist who plays with me on Sundays here. She's just phenomenal. Shelley Benet is someone who used to work out at Muscle Shoals. She was a session singer there, and also was building a career for herself in Germany the last few years. And Keith England sang in Montrose and toured with the Allman Brothers as well, way back in the day.
You've done things with a lot of other bands. What got you the inspiration to say, okay, I'm going to put together my own project and I'm going to grab these group of musicians to do an album?
The time was just right. I've always written songs and I've always planned on doing projects. And I had my own bands like 7% Solution and Bad Boys in between all the bands I was touring with back in the 80s and 90s. I've done solo records along the way that were instrumental albums and whatnot. And I've had this collection of songs, and I've tried it a couple of times with some of the songs, just a couple that made this album. But I've tried a couple of different projects that just didn't make it to the end of the line, and this just was a fortunate timing of events. I mean, the band that I play with on Sundays is pretty much what I just named to you, except for the drum situation. We have Dickie Fleezer on that. But we've been playing together for a couple of years, and it was very easy to go into the studio and cut these songs, and they just felt right. And because of the singers on it, it was the time to go and show this side of what I do. And the new album is going to be called Music Box, correct? That's right. It's a music box full of surprises for the listener.
When's that coming out?
We hadn't formulated a concrete game plan. We had just finished mixing it, and then we all got put on lockdown. So I've just decided to go ahead and do it myself. Since we're on lockdown, I just wanted to put that video out, Believe, because it was so obvious. The lyrical content of the song matched times perfectly that it was pretty simple to cut that video to it. That made us just go ahead and dump it out there, and we're putting everything together. The album should be up as we speak on iTunes. We're just going through the little, just trying to get all that sorted right now.
I'm talking to guitar player Mitch Perry. His latest group is the Mitch Perry Group. New album is called Music Box, and you're talking about the song Believe, and wow, the timing of that is unbelievable with everybody going through some hard times right now. What was the inspiration for that song?
Well, the song is what it says, believe, and that's the inspiration, and it's a universal feeling. You have to have hope for whatever's coming, and the song was written so the listener could implant themselves in it and maybe get inspired by the chorus, and because of that, it made it a no-brainer to cut that video to it, because it's perfect for the situation where you all find ourselves in right now. I mean, things are horrible, but we have to, and from the Spanish flu epidemic to every, thing we've gone through in history, it will get better. Things will right itself, and you have to believe, and that's what the song's about.
Obviously, there's a lot of things that have affected us all with the shelter in place, not being able to do things, financially and mentally and stuff. How has it affected you as a musician?
Oh, man, I don't get to play with all my friends. I mean, I love making music. I love playing music. I enjoy sitting around here and playing the guitar. That's not the payoff. The payoff is when you're on stage, and not just for the fact that you're on stage, but it's what you're doing on stage. And that's why I do my Sunday gigs here. I mean, we go to that thing, and it runs from 5 to 9 at night, and we play for 4 hours with a 20-minute break. That's it, and that's not the way we planned on doing it, but we all have so much fun playing. That's what we live to do. And, not being able to do that at all, whether it's with my Sunday or out on the road with Sweet, it's devastating, and that's just on the, on the spiritual side. I don't even want to begin to go into the financial side, but once again, we're not unique there. I mean, everybody's suffering.
My hope is with this, there's some light that comes out of it, and musicians that are normally always on the road and they don't have the time anymore, or as much time as they used to sit down and write. Maybe they'll have some inspiration and they'll have some extra time to come up with new music. And then the fans on the other side, not running around with their heads cut off like a chicken. They've got more time to sit down and appreciate what they love, and that's music.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, and I'm hoping that these are the silver linings in the cloud that we'll find, and hopefully that will lead to more interaction between everybody. The fans have more time to check out this new music. I know I've had a whole lot of time to do interviews and push this new record, and people hopefully will have a chance to sit down and listen to it, because they're not, as you say, running around like chickens with their head cut off. And I mean, hey, I know for myself, when we get back out there and play, I am going to do it with twice as much vigor than I was doing it before. I mean, I just can't wait to get out and play again. I miss it so much. So I know we'll take this out of, we'll take what we get out of here, and we'll make it stronger at by the end of it.
I think music always helps heal, and having a song like Believe out there for the fans and music lovers to hear, I mean, that helps them get through times like this.
Well, thank you. That's all I can ask for. I just hope everybody, gets a chance to hear it enough and to know it, and it works for them.
When you're sitting down and going to write some music, what part of it do you like better? Do you like the process of creating and coming up with the song, or taking the final product and presenting it to the fans?
All of the above. I mean, I usually, my favorite part is sitting back and listening to it in the studio right when we're done and go, wow, listen to what we did. It's just, when you get it right. I mean, it's equally frustrating when you do that, sit back and go, oh, screwed up again. But it's all special. I mean, when you really get into making something that means a lot to you, every part of the process means something.
I'm talking to guitar player Mitch Perry. It's the Mitch Perry Group. His new album is Music Box. And we talked about the song Believe because, that's the first one to release. But what can we expect on the rest of the album?
Well, the whole record was made with an intent to recapture the kind of vibe that I used to feel off records when I was a kid. I used to like putting records on and listening to every song on the album from start to finish. And I wanted to make an album that inspired people to do that. So, we try not to be too repetitious. You have all sorts of different vibes and different styles, but everybody plays with a real serious identity. So it's all pretty cohesive, whatever we're doing. So you'll find stuff, you'll go, wow, that sounds like it could be the Eagles meets Pink Floyd, but you'll also find stuff where you go, wow, that could be Humble Pie, or, just all these bits and pieces. Because, let's face it, there's nothing on the record that's brand new, but I'll say that there's a ton of stuff that you haven't heard in a long time on the record. We also went out of our way to keep the live feel. We played basic tracks. The drums weren't the only thing that went down. When we cut the track and made the bulk of the song, we kept the live guitar, we kept the live bass, and we kept the live keyboard. We added overdubs and redid the vocals to all that. But we wanted the band to feel like, or we wanted the listener to feel like they were in the room with the band when we played. And I think we got that. We also didn't use a click track, which lets the songs breathe naturally. And like I said, if you're a fan of 70s style classic rock, you're going to love this record.
The plan is, once everyone gets the okay, to take this project out on the road and support the music?
Absolutely. This is a live band. I mean, even though it's a great record, this band is basically born out of jamming for 4 hours every Sunday. And I've been doing that with an idea towards putting this kind of band together for a long time. And it's something that could go on stage with government mules, or, I'd like to play with a lot of the jam things where, people go to hear the music. We can go into these, I wrote all sorts of rabbit holes into the song. So when we play the song that you like, live, it's still going to take you to a different place than we go on the record. And, there's no telling where we'll go with that. The sky's the limit, because this band can pull that stuff off. And so there will definitely be a reason for coming to see it live.
And that makes for a special night for the fans coming out, because you never know what's going to happen, right?
Absolutely. And that's the way I want to keep it for the band, too, because that keeps the music exciting. I mean, there's something to playing things the same way every night and doing it perfect. And everything, when you do it to 10/10, it's an amazing thing, and hats off to you. For me, though, I like the excitement of spontaneity and the fresh and new things and those magic moments that happen on the spur of the moment. That's what makes live playing so exciting for me.
Is it hard to then go into the studio and, well, you can't do that, you got to make the songs become, so many minutes long. You can't just do these long on jams.
Well, not really. I mean, obviously, different scenarios call for different things, and when you're live, it makes sense to do that. In the studio, and you'll find we did cut songs longer. I mean, Jumpin' Jack Flash is, they're 6 minutes, 5 minutes. Let's see, why am I spacing on the name? Not a good thing. Pack It Up and Go and Remember Me. That's about an 8-minute song. So we did put some of that on there so you'll get an idea of what we do, but we'll be able to do it in places you'd never expect.
You also play with Sweet, and obviously once everything returns to normal, what's the plans for Sweet then?
Just get back out on the road and hit the festivals like we do. When that's going to be is another question, because, just this week we had pretty much a whole Canadian tour of festival dates canceled. So, and that's canceled, not postponed. So, it's all going to come back in time. We'll be there to do it as soon as it does. But when that is, the jury's still out.
If people want to find out more about you or the album or the band, where's the best place they can find you on the internet?
MitchPerry.com. Of course, we got our Facebook page and the YouTube page. So, definitely go to YouTube and subscribe when you get to the Mitch Perry Group on that. But the MitchPerry.com will have links to where you can get the album, and you can order the hard copies if you want. We will be putting them out in CD, and we will be pressing vinyl as well.
Oh, very cool. Got to have the vinyl nowadays.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially, like I said, this record was meant to put headphones on, sit back, and get lost in the record for an hour. So, yeah, you definitely want this on vinyl. And to that end, even the cover, we had Glenn Wexler, who's one of the best album artists, period. He did the cover for it, and it's just got a look and a feel just like your old favorite records when you were a kid.
Well, thank you so much, Mitch, for taking the time. Mitch Perry, legendary guitar player. Check out the Mitch Perry Group. The new album's called Music Box. The great new single's called Believe. Mitch, thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Likewise, man. Thanks for having me.
Rockford's home for classic rock, 96.7 The Eagle.